Okay, so I just want to make a quick little video on how I do opacity masks in Maya. So if you're just shooting something like our animation has a lot of 2D objects, but I still want to animate them in 3D, right? So what you're basically going to do is you're going to take just like a plane and I'm just going to rotate it so you can see it a little bit better. So we're going to be about 90, and then also make sure, since this is just going to be really low poly, it doesn't need any subdivisions, so just type in 1 so that you get this, just this blank square, right? And so move up like that. That looks good. And basically what you're going to want to do is go to like whatever software you want to use for painting. For this video, I'm going to use MS Paint. So what you're just going to want to do is basically make sure you have a canvas size. And all computers have MS Paint on them, so this will be easier to use if you want to use MS Paint. But I would use Photoshop, but just all computers have MS Paint. So an example of MS Paint would just be you can draw something like a flower. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm using a mouse. Sample flower. Okay, so we have. Oh. let's do this star. There we go. So this is our image we're going to want to make transparent. So you're going to save this, save as a PNG, and you're going to save it as just, oh, this is a star now. Star. I would just say it as whatever you named it in PNG. And I like saving things to my desktop, so I'm going to save it to my desktop. Um, and so now we can actually apply this first texture. So what you're going to want to do is open up your hypershade. You're going to go to Arnold right here and scroll to AI standard surface. These are what Arnold uses to render out, so we're just going to use these. Here, just a basic shader. You can name it, so I'm going to name it Star Opacity Mask. Just so in case I have two things, pretend that says Opacity Mask. So go to color, the little box, just like you're using normal file, click file, and you'll see a file attachment for the base color. So take this file, so then you'll see it over here. It's this node appears right here, the image name, and then you can go find your thing. Traditionally, you'd want to save it in a project folder because you should be using project folders in Maya. Always use a project folder. But since this is just for this video, I did not. But always make sure you have a set project and are using a project folder. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to drag this down. Click this. Click your material. Right click and hold. Assign material to selection. So once you have that, this turns on the textures for the viewport. So click that, and now you have your texture. But even though it's a PNG, this is not transparent. So what you're going to want to do is open up Photoshop. I prefer Photoshop because I know Photoshop. You can also draw your image in Photoshop. I just wanted to do MS Paint because it was easy. um, so you're going to open, and you're going to open your star, whatever you did. And basically how opacity masks work is that it tells Maya so that one color is transparent and one color isn't transparent. So in opacity masks, black is what shows up transparent and white is what shows up as the image. So we want the background to be transparent. So what you're going to do is going to select it. I just use the magic wand tool. You're going to select it and you're going to click black. And then if you do shift and backspace, it will fill it. So shift backspace, fill it with black. And then I'm going to select and I'm going to invert my selection. And then I'm going to do all of this white. So this is going to tell Maya anything that's within this image, like this white, is what's going to show up. So we're going to export this as a PNG. We're going to do star opacity, PNG, save it like that. Perfect. So that's your image. If you want to save this as a PSD, you can. I don't usually because I just exported it and it looks fine. So I'm not going to save it. But what I am going to do is go back in my hypershade, come over to my star. And if you click this little button, it'll focus on all the nodes it has in it. I'm right here. Then you're going to scroll down to geometry. In opacity, you're going to click this little box. You're going to click file. And so it'll show up. This is another file, but it's connected to opacity, not base color. So opacity, and then you can click this node to grab the file, image name, and again, mine is not set, so I'm going to go find this. Traditionally, if it's set, it'll open up source images for that project folder. That's why you always want to save your textures inside of a project folder because it'll automatically open them. But sometimes if you move them off your desktop or wherever you have them originally and move them somewhere else, it won't be able to find them and you'll have to reconnect them. But so then it's going to appear like this. It's going to change black and whatever color was inside the white. So the only reason this isn't white right here is because Maya understands that in the opacity mask, the place that's white shows up right here. And underneath that white is the red of the star. So when you do go to render, make sure you have a light in your scene. So when you go to render, now it's rendering transparent. See, it looks like it's just this thing, right? But it is right here. So that's how you just really simple opacity mask. There's a lot of things you can do with opacity mask. Like you can use opacity mask in sprites, in particle effects, anything you need. Opacity masks are really useful. Yeah, just a simple way to do opacity masks.